Hello and welcome to this episode of Hospitality Talks. I'm Katy Moses, founder and MD of KAM Media. And today I am thrilled to be joined by our friend Amber Staynings, who is founder and CEO of Bums on Seats. Amber, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Katy. Very excited.
Amber, can you please let those people out there who haven't maybe worked with you or worked with Bums on Seats know exactly who you are and also how you came about such a fantastic business name?
Thank you. So Bums on Seats was founded in January 2019 by myself. I had 20 years previous hospitality experience spanning sales and operations. And ultimately, I saw a gap in the market for an agency that was specifically focused on driving pre-bookings into operators' venues, small, large, medium, all sizes. And that's quickly expanded into different areas like training and auditing as well.
Okay. Now tell me, I mean, the word bums, the phrase bums on seats,
Yeah.
it does what it says on the tin. So what on earth happened in March last year when there were no seats to put bums on?
Bums on. Yeah, very good question, Katy. I think, we were heading into year two, beginning of the year last year. We had a really fantastic year one. Suddenly COVID hit, and of course, there were no seats to put bums on. So we very quickly had to adapt and innovate in terms of our business model. Now, I'm very fortunate. We've got 14 sales consultants that work in the company, and all of us have varying experience, but we all share one common experience, which is, of course, business development. And business development actually, as its entity, isn't just about physically getting customers through your doors. So it also spans the tech side of the industry. So things like gifting, it looks at everything from how do we engage with our customers while we're not open. So it spans the marketing area. And we looked at the whole auditing piece, which is a really good sort of format to follow when your business is closed. So how do we look at your current strategy for sales, your current pre-bookings, your booking systems, and provide analysis on that? And we also looked at the training piece, because when sites were shut, they could also still be trained. So how do you answer the phones better? How do you deal with customer inquiries better when you reopen? And how do we upskill that sector? So for us, we decided that we weren't going to shut down. We were going to adapt and focus on the areas that were relevant for an industry that was essentially temporarily closed.
So essentially, would I be right in saying that what you did is you went from filling people's houses to helping them get their house in order somewhat?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, that was definitely first part of it. The second part was then also spanning things like delivery strategies, because absolutely, how do you entice somebody to buy your product online? So that's e-commerce as well. How do you get them to be a loyal customer? And how do you make sure that they come back when you are open? And all of that does determine and does need some skill. So that was a really fruitful area that we were supporting businesses on as well through lockdown.
Fantastic. And can you talk me through, so how does that actually look when you're talking to a client? So say you're talking to, let's say, a pub company,
Yeah.
and they're sort of saying, right, how can you help me? Could you just talk me through sort of what, as founder and MD of Katy Moses Pubs, how would you use the skills and experience that you guys have got there at Bums on Seats to help me during this point in lockdown?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, it's understanding where are the gaps in their routes to market. So what are they doing really, really well? What are they not doing? What are their clear messages? What's their current customer reach and demographic? Where are the opportunities? And what we're really, really good at is identifying those opportunities and then creating a plan that says, this is how you do it. So the whole point is delivery. And then the great thing about anything we do with sales, Katy, is it's so black and white. So you can really, really see your return on investment and your commercials from doing that. And we've got lots and lots of different ways that we can help take those routes to market through our own collaborations as well. So something key that we did this year that was different was working with other businesses that offer other areas that we can tap into to provide this overall solution, which has been great.
Mm-hmm. And so what does 2021 look like? I'm not asking you to get out your Mystic Maker crystal ball. Let's be honest, nobody would want to make a prediction right now. But what does it look like for you at the moment?
I think for us, for the first couple of months of this year, obviously, like everybody, things are very, very quiet. People are making use of furlough. So it's about getting your house in order, getting ready, get set up. I am convinced from May onwards, we're really going to see things bounce back very, very quickly. And actually, there's a lot of work to do for that, because what you want to do is maintain your new revenue streams that you've already implemented because you've been forced to in terms of innovation, but then also make sure that you're ready and set up to go in terms of your pre-bookings and everything that means. So we've got a lot to do, and actually a lot of our clients are are looking to get us back in from sort of February, March onwards to make sure that they're set up and ready to go, which is great. The auditing bit for us is only growing. It's phenomenal. It's such a clever thing. And we have got a very set way of approaching that, a very strategic way of approaching that. And as I said earlier, this is a good time to do that for 2021, and actually training as well. So we are the only company that's got Institute of Hospitality have endorsed our training course. So while people are on furlough, they can train. So let's get them upskilled and ready to go. And then there's a lot we're working on the tech side as well. So we are working confidentially with a couple of really interesting businesses on how can we take the way that we take pre-bookings to the next level. So how can we actually really skyrocket that into customer behavior, which is only going to remain digital in my view. And yes, they're going to be coming out into your businesses, but how do you capture that market? So for us, we are very busy now, but in terms of pure consultancy work, I think that is going to take 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. And how do you keep a sales team? You know, I mean, I've worked on sales teams since I was 16 years old. And how do you keep a sales team like yours motivated when they can't do the main, as you say, you know, they've adapted, but they can't do the main thing that they love and that they're good at and that they're successful at? How do you keep them?
That's a really good question, because I wouldn't have a business without the people that work for me. And as I've said, we've maintained 14. And actually, since I started the company, not a single consultant has actually left me. And we're going into year 3 now. So that's really a real achievement, I think. And we do that through transparency, through motivation, through constantly upskilling and training. We're very, very close as a department. I have family values within my company, which I stick to. And those family values are applicable for my clients as well as my team. And ultimately it's creating that environment where they want to work for you, and they can see there is a long-term progression, which we absolutely have for Bums on Seats. We've got a really great 4 or 5 year business plan at the moment that everybody's aware of, everybody's working towards, and it is truly like a family. And when you have that dynamic and those values, there's nothing you can't talk about, and there's nothing that you can't that's off the table, and everybody works together really, really well. But it is hard work. Salespeople in particular, as you know, we can be quite high maintenance, but we're also really, really hard working, and we share a work ethic and we share morals and values. And once you have that right, keeping them motivated actually is fairly straightforward.
I want to move on to finish on the latest campaign that Bums on Seats have launched, and I know that we've been involved with, and quite a lot of other hospitality suppliers, etc., have been involved in. Can you tell us a bit about that, and what made you think of doing that?
Absolutely. So it's Take Out to Help Out. I don't know where we got the inspiration from, but actually the inspiration came from my family are in Somerset in a place called Frome. And when I was walking around before the latest lockdown, there was a little poster in one of the cafes saying, oh, please take out. It wasn't worded in exactly the right way, but it was the equivalent of Take Out to Help Out. And I thought, oh my God, like this little place in Frome is trying to do this. We need to take this broader. That makes perfect sense. And actually it's really about community as well. So wherever you live, wherever you're locked down, and actually wherever your friends and your family are locked down, because the Take Out to Help Out works really well to buy it for gifts, for celebrations and occasions as well, which we're all feeling. I had my birthday in lockdown recently, so I know what that's like. And it's just another way that we can support the industry, and just to reward how quickly our sector has turned on delivery when they haven't previously done it, some places more than others, granted. And just to say, keep treating yourself to that restaurant experience, that breakfast on takeaway, that that cocktail masterclass, whatever it is, because it is really important for our sector that it's that revenue stream that stays there while they cannot open. And actually that works for Bums on Seats, because the Bums on Seats bit is Bums on Seats. You're feeding Bums on Seats in their own home, but from your brand and your restaurant, and that's key. And they will absolutely come and visit you. You'll be the first that they think of if they've had a good delivery experience from you through lockdown. So again, that's how it's relevant for us as a business to go down that path as well and support in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great initiative, and we've been really pleased to get involved. And I think that certainly for the industry, you know, one of the positive things, and I am forever an optimist, one of the positive things that's come out of the pandemic is the fact that as an industry, we have started to branch out into the areas that perhaps were
Absolutely.
neglected before, and that actually should and could still provide a second, third, fourth, whatever it might be, revenue stream
Yep.
on top of, you know, the traditional side of hospitality.
Yep.
Do you see bums on seats as working with the industry continuously in that area, even after the venues open, etc.?
Absolutely, 100%. It's part of it's one of the biggest growing trends, if not the biggest trends that we've seen, and there's no reason why that will change. Yes, I do think people have missed, and everybody you speak to has missed going into a pub, eating in a restaurant. That will absolutely bounce back. We know that's not going to happen for a while, but when it does, it will. However, delivery will still be maintained, in my view, and whether that will decrease slightly, I don't know, but it's a long-term solution, and it should determine a long-term strategy that should actually be aligned with your overall opening strategy for when that happens. So it's fundamental in my mind that it's not going anywhere.
Brilliant. Thank you, Amber. That's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your thoughts. It's fascinating to see how a business who could quite easily have just, you know, disappeared under the circumstances we were in last year has actually thrived and added new strings to the bow. So congratulations to you there, and I look forward to seeing you in IRL, in real life, as soon as possible.
Thanks, Katie. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.